I said, what? They said, yeah, all these asteroids, uh, some have multi-billions and trillions of dollars in diamonds, some and are basically all owned by different rich people on the planet. But they can't transfer the wealth onto the planet. And I said, well, how much does Bill Gates own out here? And he says he owns like $40 trillion because he was one of the first ones to take his money from Earth, mine diamond and gold and platinum off some of these, and he stores it all on the moon. And I said, that's incredible. He says, yeah, that's nothing. He says, every United States president, every prime minister in Canada, every single person that was ever in power in the history of the world has a stake out here. And I said, really? No, they're just kidding about that. I said, well, some presidents probably. And they said, yeah, some do. And I said, you know that the wealth out here in space that's floating around here could solve the problems of the Earth? And he says, yeah, but it would devaluate everything on Earth. So gold would be worth like nothing. And I said, is there oil out here? And they said, no, there's no oil out here because that's created by living things in oceans hundreds of millions of years ago, and it's all compressed into layers, and most of the oil in the world is not by actual little microscopic living things in the oceans a long time ago, and it's all compressed, and that's where you get your oil. Well, anyways, that's nothing. So I said, let's go to the moon. They said, okay, you're in your capsule, you're talking, remember? I said, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. So anyways, we're in the capsule, and I said, Google Globe 1, the moon. They said all the restricted areas are restricted and all the off-limit areas are off-limit. And I said, why can't I go to off-limit areas? Because you just can't. You might be in the bottom of a crater and the globe isn't tough enough to pull you out. And the globe is still with me. So, now, we're heading to the moon, and I see another 3-mile wide asteroid coming straight for me, and we just move out of the way a little bit, and it floats by doing about 1,000,000 miles a kilometer a second. And funny thing is, I could see everything clearly on it, and I could see that there's little kind of capsules that's on this, and then I realized that people are mining these things. And then I say, you know what, couldn't I just land on Google Globe? I'm just going to test this. Google Globe 1, land on the nearest asteroid. And he said, do you not want to go to the moon? I said, no, I'm really curious about this mining crap. So it deviates, and it doesn't matter because the way that 1,000,000-mile-an-hour asteroids go, and it's going to be around the Earth and back here in minutes. So I realized there's thousands of capsules on this asteroid, and we go to this right by this capsule that is like multicolored, and it's, man, does it ever look cool. And on the side of it, I read Elon Musk. I go, Google Globe, is that Elon, the car guy? They said, yeah, he's mining for platinum because he needs it for some type of new battery that is going to power the new flying cars he's going to be making, which is all like a quadcopter, and he needs nanotubes and graphene ultralight, and he needs this stuff to make it smaller, nanotubes, as cheap as possible. And the only way you can do it is to make it out here. But the way the financing goes, you cannot transfer it to Earth. And I go, what? And they go, yeah, it's nanotubes and carbon. It's basically carbon. That's a nanotube. It's called graphene. It's basically the lead in your pencil. That's like a graphene, and he wants to make flying cars out of it. And I said, but I've never heard about anything in that on Earth. I'm just Google Globe 1 says that it's just, chances are that what he's doing. We don't know for sure. So I say I'm just going to ask the guy myself, because he's sitting there mining like in this little silvery kind of capsule, and I could kind of see him working. So I go, hey, Elon Musk, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? And then his globe comes over to me and says, do not disturb. At any time. Ever. And I go, well, son of a bitch. I want to really talk to this guy. I have my own ideas. Anyways, so the capsule, I'm looking at different mining techniques that different people are doing. Some people are using kind of laser things, and then I noticed that it is actually pretty damn safe up here. It's like, I thought I couldn't even imagine all this, how safe it, and there's thousands of these capsules around this one asteroid. So I go to this one capsule and I ask the guy, I said, will you talk to me? He goes, oh yeah, I'll talk to you. He says, you're up here, we're all family. And I said, like, how much you actually making? And he says, oh, he's made about $2 trillion already. And I said, but you can't transfer it to Earth. And he goes, no, because the treaties collapse the whole thing on Earth. And he says, but the way the economy works in space up there is trillions of dollars are only spent in space. So you can build whatever you want up here, and as long as the money circulates up here, you can transfer. And I said, well, that's why all the LED lights are popping up down the street, all the LED stop signs and speed limit signs. And he says, yeah, that's all developed because of people spending trillions of dollars up here. He says that's why it's accelerated, kind of everything looks futuristic on Earth now in 2018. And I say, wow, this is cool. And he says, yeah, it is cool. And do you realize on your capsule you could do exactly what I'm doing? And I go, really? And he says, yeah, I stake my claim here, but just go Google one, look for claims on this actual asteroid. And this is a safe asteroid because it orbits the Earth like a moon. And I said, but how can they not see this moon, this asteroid from Earth? Oh, they could see it. It's just there's so much money up here, they just suppress it. And every person with a telescope on Earth that has a telescope that sees this stuff, they just give them earthly money. Do you understand? So everyone, or they say, or else, take the money or else. And I said, so I could be on Earth and say, hey, I saw this asteroid and I saw you guys working on it. Nobody believed that anyways. But I said, wow. And I said, all that by little tiny hair in my arm. And he says, what? And then I said, oh, no, nothing. And I said, do you have the hair on your arms stand on the end? And he goes, no. And I didn't think nothing of it. So I see this little shiny kind of speck, and I said, well, what's that? And he says, oh, that's about 3-pound ounce of gold, but I'm not after that. And I said, that's like a 3-pound ounce of gold. And he says, oh, that's nothing. That's Nothing. And I said, well, it's that silvery like streak there on this asteroid. And he says, well, remember, this has been here for billions of years, and from collisions at multi-millions an hour kind of thing, it fused diamond, gold, and silver and all kinds of stuff into these. All the elements are already here, and it's here. You just have to mine it, but you can't take it to Earth. You take it into you mine it and put it in. Just trust me on this. I said, you know what? I don't want to go back to Earth. And I said, when was the last time you were at Earth? And he says, last time I was Earth about 3 years ago, and I'm a multi-trillionaire. I've made more money up here. But remember, dollars per dollars, for trillions of dollars, the wealth is still the wealth up here as it would be on Earth. But he says, you'll understand. So I said, Google one mining rates for this asteroid, and this asteroid is Kelpha B. So he says, well, you're lucky because this area right beside you, it happens to be up for grabs, and just put a timestamp on it. So I put a timestamp on it, and he says, okay. Google Globe 1. So I got my first mining rate on this asteroid. And I'm looking at this pounds and pounds of gold. And he says, don't even worry about that. He says, use your Google One globe. And he says, that gold is yours. Okay, the gold right claim. Okay, now Google One will call in another probe. Probe comes in, grabs that gold, takes it to repository on the moon. And I said, that easy? He said, that easy. So Google Globe 1 called another globe. Now in a couple minutes, it arrived. I just picked up this gold, put it on there, and now I have thousands and thousands of dollars in the economy up here. And he says, and that's good because that just paid for your dinner you just had. And I said, how do you know I had that dinner? And he says, because we know everything. It's all interconnected. And I said, so a steak cost 4 pounds of gold? And they said, yeah, that's just a steak, not the ketchup, the Heinz ketchup that you had in a little packet. That's another pound of gold. Oh my God, it's expensive. He says, but just keep mining. So I put the mining on the capsule itself in automated mode, and it just shot this little kind of thin looking light kind of laser thing, and it cut a little section that was square, and this little section that was square, there was this silvery substance under it, and he says, that is trillium. You just got lucky. And I go, what the hell's trillium? And he goes, trillium is the most expensive substance on the planet. He says, you just got trillium. He says, and then he says, no, it's not worth nothing. How much do you want for your little Google One? I'll give him an offer of $1 trillion. And I said, no, I don't think so. Something's not right here. And all of a sudden, another capsule comes over, another capsule come over, and it says, we'll give you mining rights to that at 50%. And I go, I don't get it. They said, don't worry about it. Are you just a space tourist? And I said, hey, all of you space tourists? Like, how did you, like, okay, just a second here. Google One, what's my mining standard right now? $50 trillion in the world space economy. I just got here. And I got 50, so as my mining laser cut beside it, and it cut like a kind of like a cross section, and then I realized there was a vein going a little, so another miner goes, I'll give you 70% of what you found, and I'll do all the work. I said, I'm doing the work right now. And he says, and then people are congratulating me, saying, wow, you found trillium. Trillium is the most hardest to find thing on the planet. And I said, I don't even know what the hell trillium is. Trillium is a metal that is super hard to find, and you found it, and you get lucky. And another guy got mad at me. He says, I've been doing this for 40 years, looking for trillium. You come up here in a space visa and you find trillium. How is that even possible? Elon Musk comes up to me and says, Mr. Collin,